I'm Saraaguilar, and I'm here at the University of California in San Diego at the Ancestral Health Summit. Today we're with Basile, who's a PhD student studying evolutionary biology, and we're going to look at how we can learn from evolutionary health in medicine and take elements of that to improve your health in the modern world. But what I like to do is start with talking about your story. What got you into ancestral health?
Yeah, so I don't know, almost 9 years ago, I was trying to figure out, basically I was just trying to lose some weight and get healthier. So I did the typical switching over to whole bread, taking a multivitamin type thing, and barely had any success with it. And then someone I was working with at the time, a pharmacist, recommended the paleo diet to me. And I was like, ugh, that sounds ridiculous, no way. She convinced me enough to finally try it, and I had a lot of success with it and lost a lot of weight and left my full-time cushy job to go back to school and study nutrition. And fast forward 7 years and here we are today.
And you're also the secretary of the Ancestral Health Society as well.
I'm a board member of the Ancestral Health Society, yep.
So can you explain exactly what the paleo diet is?
So the paleo diet is mainly based off of eating a diet that our ancestors had, of food groups that our ancestors had access to. So that would be food groups prior to the agricultural revolution, where we had more evolutionary history and exposure to these food groups. So food groups that are not on the diet would be grains, legumes, and dairy, and alcohol would be on there as well. And then food groups that do make up the diet would be your meat, seafood, fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, more whole foods like that.
And did you find it hard to transition over? Because what did you eat before you went paleo?
Oh, just your standard American diet, not good. I don't know, for me, I was very motivated at the time to do it, so I didn't have too much trouble. I know other people who have tried the diet and have had trouble adopting it and like fully switching over to it. But for me, highly motivated at the time, and then I saw success pretty quickly. So as soon as I saw change on that scale, I was pretty much sold and haven't looked back since.
And other than the weight loss, what other benefits did you experience from a paleo diet?
For me, pretty much instantaneously, acne cleared up, like in just a couple weeks. And then I never realized until somebody else asked me about it, but like just more greater like mental clarity. Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people mention that too.
I think that's one of the big game changers for me, especially going keto or paleo, is the cognitive focus and energy that you get, the mental clarity. Like the weight loss is like, yeah, that's like secondary, but the focus and energy you have is like, wow, it makes you feel like a different person.
Yeah, and when people finally take charge of their diet and they start to change it, it's just amazing how many people don't know how good they can feel on a day-to-day basis. And then they change their diet, they start thinking about what they actually eat, and like it's like a whole new world for them. I've heard so many people say it over time that they pick up a new diet, start thinking about what they eat, and they just feel great.
So what do you eat in an average day then?
I eat an average day. For me, it's some eggs in the morning with some typically spinach and some fruit. Then some more fruit throughout the day.
What kind of
nuts.
fruits are you eating?
I eat all fruits. I don't restrict fruits, but apples, bananas, oranges. Try to do a lot of berries as well, blueberries. And then lunches, usually just I snack throughout the day. I don't eat 3 meals a day. But snacking will just be some banana, some almond butter, some dark chocolate, everybody loves the dark chocolate. And then, dinner is just fish or meat, a bunch of veggies.
So it's very simple on the ingredients and
very
the food.
Simple.
One of the things I'm stressing about ancestral eating is that you're eating food that looks like what it is.
Yeah.
And then if if it looks like what it is, then as in not a Pop-Tart or something like that. If it's an animal and you're eating fish and it looks like a fish and you've got a vegetable there and it looks like the vegetable, that's real food, and that's ancestral eating.
Pop-Tarts don't grow on trees. So,
Nothing that's processed, essentially. But what you're doing now is really impressive in ancestral health and evolutionary medicine. But can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so evolutionary medicine is applying modern evolutionary theory to just better understand health and disease. And one of the best perspectives that you get out of it is thinking more about the why instead of the how, what. So if you think about like what causes obesity, it's in surplus intake of calories and more food. But the idea of instead of what causes obesity, why do we have the ability to develop obesity is a completely different question that will allow you to think differently about the disease. And you can apply that perspective to just about any disease. What is cancer? How does cancer come about? But why do humans and all life have the ability to develop cancer? So hopefully you can come up with some new perspectives, new ways to treat and prevent disease by thinking about the why instead of the how.
Where does the roots lie?
This kind of comes about, it's highly debated, of course, but one of the ideas is the thrifty phenotype hypothesis, and this is the idea that mammals being able to store energy is a good thing. You know, feast or famine, you don't know when you're going to get your next meal, so storing energy is a good thing. But mismatched in today's environment where we have a surplus of energy, we are just continue to store it.
Because we don't need to work for our food anymore.
We do not need to work for food anymore.
Yeah.
You pick up your phone and get 300 calories delivered to you at any time.
It's all that feast or famine.
Yeah.
Like our bodies are designed for that, and it takes us 40,000 to 100,000 years to evolve, and
Sure.
yet we've not adapted to this new diet of highly processed foods, mainlining processed sugar,
Yep.
and of course degraded fats. But yeah, we just added to all
Yep.
on that one. So with regards to an ancestral diet, we've more or less covered that, what it looks like from an eating perspective. What about things like veganism and vegetarianism? Are they ancestral? What are your thoughts on that?
So there hasn't been a hunter-gatherer society. So we use hunter-gatherer societies to kind of model what we think our ancestors actually had access to, and what they ate, what it looked like, also how they lived their life. And there hasn't been a hunter-gatherer society that's been studied that hasn't consumed animals in some way, shape, or form, whether it was a very small amount of their caloric intake or all the way up to such a larger amount as people think of, like with the traditional Inuit population eating a lot of seafood and whale blubber and stuff like that. Veganism and vegetarianism is very interesting to think about, because vegetarian's very interesting also because people have all sorts of different types of vegetarianism. So there's lacto-ovo, pescatarian, but they all kind of fall under the vegetarian umbrella. But the idea of removing all animal products, it really restricts the dietary variety that you have, specifically in terms of the nutrients that you get. So some of the first things that people think about with vegan or vegetarianism is vitamin B12, which is only found in animal products. We know now, though, that you can store vitamin B12 in your body for a long time, almost 10 years. So what percentage of a diet has to actually come from meat is kind of still up for debate. So if someone wants to not eat meat for whatever reason, they could still have a healthy diet if they're smart, and they have to be really careful about their nutrient intake on a vegan or a vegetarian diet. But also, if someone's eating meat once a week and getting access to the nutrients that's available in them, and then they don't eat meat for the rest of the week, is that a vegetarian diet or not? So it's a question of how much meat and when, how frequently you want to eat it or not.
And what about a carnivore diet? Would you see that as being an ancestral diet?
I don't think so, no. We've never seen a hunter-gatherer society that ate only meat and got all their energy and nutrients from meat. So I think that's just taking it to the extreme side.
They're both equally extreme then?
Equally, yes, exactly.
Equally extreme.
Humans are, definitely omnivorous animals, and our nutrient needs reflect that.
All right, so then you could sum up the human diet as being omnivorous with a lot of animal products and a lot of whole plants as well. And what do you think about starches as well, such as sweet potato, potatoes, yams, butternut squash?
So just in comparison, if you were to take all the starch groups together, potatoes, breads, grains, legumes, and compare them to other food groups, specifically meat and fruits and vegetables, they're way more nutrient poor. So fruits and vegetables and meats are the two most nutrient dense food groups that we can. And when we think about nutrient density, we're talking about the amount of micronutrients in it, usually per a set amount of calories. And when you run all those numbers, you see that fruit and vegetables are always number one in terms of nutrient density. So starches, they can be in the diet, but I would, me personally, recommend that as long as your diet is based predominantly in vegetables, you're pretty much all set, is my recommendation.
So more vegetables than meat products then?
Yeah.
Okay, so like a plant-based diet with with some meat. Do you think it's important to have pastured and grass-fed meat?
Yeah, absolutely.
And fish, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I just saw a whole talk on, sustainability and how we treat animals and everything. But, we do know that the better raised your animal products are, the better quality, the more nutrient density there is in them, for sure.
All right. And if you could change one thing about how people eat to improve their health?
How people eat or what people eat?
Either.
Either.
Either. What would it be?
What people eat, I would just say eat more vegetables. That's really the best thing you can do for yourself. And then how people eat, start cooking. Go in the grocery store and look in the produce aisle and say, I don't know what that is. I've never tasted it. Buy it. Go home and try it. And eat with people is also another good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So the human diet, we're omnivores, according to our anthropologist here. And we need to eat plant products, vegetables, fruits in moderate. That one is debatable depending on what diet you're following. Yeah, and also your ancestry. I think that has a big impact.
One thing that a lot of people talk about all the time is phytochemicals. And these are molecules that are found in plant products. And if we look at an apple, there's still hundreds, if not thousands, of molecules in there that we have no idea what they do. Same thing goes for animal products. There's zoochemicals as well that we just have no idea. And most likely, we're going to find that all of the plant foods and animal products that we have, there are going to be more beneficial phytochemicals and zoochemicals that we just have no idea how they function in our body yet. Because what most people and businesses do nowadays is they'll isolate a phytochemical, turn it into some sort of pill and say that it's going to cure everything. But really, when you eat that whole food, you're getting all sorts of things that we don't even know about yet, that if we were to spend the time to study them, are most likely going to have beneficial effects on our physiology.
Absolutely, yeah, because as we know, food is medicine, but it can also be a toxin. But if you isolate just one ingredient or one vitamin or mineral and you have it separate to the food, you're not necessarily going to absorb it the same way, and you're going to miss out on all the other benefits that come with eating the whole food. So there are supplements that are fantastic, but they're supplementary, and really you should get everything. You should get everything that you need from eating real food, plants and animals. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Sure.
And good luck with your talk later.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.